4 weeks. Many people experienced remission at 1.
Still watching Cherokee County, tornado warning on the way, Tahlequah area, and there it appears that tornado warning just issued. And the rotation is very close to Tahlequah, moving to the northeast at about 50 miles per hour, right into Tahlequah now. Briggs, Eldon, Proctor, the Nickel Family Preserve, east of Tahlequah toward Chewy and Chance in Adair County too. Let's zoom into this because we just saw signs that we had some debris loft taking place. We're looking at bright greens here, bright reds here, and that puts the rotation pretty much right over the Tahlequah area now. Let's drop that. We'll go to correlation coefficient. And again, we actually see a stripe here, but that's not the lowering that we're looking at. I do want to back this up. And if you see closely just this one little pixel, that's actually some debris getting lofted up. This was just a little bit ago. Looks like that may not still be a very clear signal of that in Tahlequah, but the rotation continues very strong right over Tahlequah. The tornado warning is in effect until 5:45, not only including Tahlequah, but Park Hill on the south edge of this, Eldon going east toward the Illinois River out of Tahlequah along Highway 51 and 62, and north of Highway 62 and 51 along Highway 10. But everybody from Hulbert West, not in this tornado warning polygon, but the tornado warning is in effect right now. We've got that tornado warning going for Cherokee and parts of western Delaware, parts of southwestern Delaware County and western Adair County until 5:45. The rotation continues here. Another issue that we have happening in Tahlequah are very strong winds taking place. Let me switch over to base velocity right now, and this will give you an idea. Now we're looking up into the storm just a little bit, but we're still seeing winds 60, 65, 72 miles per hour here just on right through Tahlequah. So this has got some really strong winds taking place with it right now as it continues to move toward the east. On the inbound side of this, there's a 73 mile per hour wind gust on the south side of Tahlequah. So that is part of what is imparting some spin right now with this. Again, we've got that spoke of correlation coefficient. That doesn't help us out a whole lot trying to decipher whether or not we have debris being lofted, but that looks like it now has moved just to the northeast of Tahlequah. That main part of rotation is going to be where the storm is oriented kind of northwest to southeast. Now, what we've expected from these storms are these quick intensifying circulations and potential tornadoes. So if indeed that's happening, this is center of Tahlequah right now, east of Highway 82 and moving up over Highway 10 and the Illinois River. Here's Sparrowhawk Fire Department. Here's the community of Briggs, and here's the community of Eldon. Most likely spot for seeing a tornado down with it would be very close to or just to the northeast of Tahlequah. Again, we go back to correlation coefficient. I'm not seeing any clear signs that we have lofted debris. We had that for a couple of scans on Fox23 Doppler radar, and that was just to the southwest of Tahlequah. But the main rotation continues now just to the northeast of Tahlequah and moving to the northeast. I'm going to give you an updated track, and then we'll head over to meteorologist Mike Grogan because we have other severe thunderstorms taking place in eastern Oklahoma, and just out of our coverage area, a couple of other tornado warnings that are issued, and those are going to be in effect. Okay, so spotters seeing a rotating wall cloud in Tahlequah, not at all surprising given that wind. Sparrowhawk Fire Department, Nickel Family Preserve, they're east of Tahlequah and on up toward Chewy. That is the main track of this rotation. Again, with that wall cloud, we did have evidence that we had a tornado down with it just to the southwest of Tahlequah briefly. No sign at all of how strong that tornado could have been, but again, we're looking right into Tahlequah for that rotation. You can see the brighter greens here and the brighter reds here. So the center of this rotation is very close to, maybe just now to the east or northeast of Tahlequah and moving to the northeast. The tornado warning polygon goes all the way over to the Arkansas state line, north of Stillwell, And Highway 10, you can see here's Scraper kind of going up north of Tahlequah along the Illinois River. So along Highway 10 and south, that is going to be the main threat area as this rotation continues moving toward the northeast. Now, getting a little brighter on the north side of that circulation, we go back to correlation coefficient. Again, I don't see any evidence that we've got any debris being lofted, so that's definitely a good sign. But this is a very alarmingly strong rotation that has just passed to the northeast of Tahlequah. Trained spotters in Tahlequah did see a wall cloud with it. So treat this as if it could produce a tornado at any time as it moves to the northeast of Tahlequah. We can give you the all clear in Tahlequah as that continues moving toward the northeast. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Grogan. Mike?
But if you're in the eastern part of Cherokee County or into portions of Adair County, if you're in that warning, this is the time to be in that lowest floor, most interior room of the house or building you're in. Make sure you've got shoes on. If you've got a helmet, throw that on as well. It adds protection from flying debris. A pillow or a blanket can also do the same thing. If you're in your shelter, you've got an outlet. Keep your devices plugged in so you can keep streaming us here on the Fox 23 app. And we'll want you to stay sheltered until we give you the all clear, which we just did for Tahlequah. All right, next I want to show you the broad view of what is happening across green country right now. We are talking about areas of storms anywhere from near the Kansas line to the storm with the tornado potential in eastern Cherokee County, and storms angle back through northern Okmulgee County that are severe for the potential for hail and up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, with more storms firing off to the south and west as well. Also keeping an eye on some new cells starting to develop along and just ahead of a dry line near Stillwater into western Pawnee and Osage County. Those are far from being severe, but that might be the start of another round of storms heading our way. The next round that we're going to watch very closely are tornado warning cells, not quite to the Fox 23 viewing area yet, but they are getting closer, not far from southwestern Pittsburg County. These storms once again warned for tornadoes as they get closer to an area that's still very primed for more rotation into southeastern Oklahoma. Nonetheless, these storms will likely be severe when they arrive, and they may be tornado warned. So this will be a soon to be focused in on area. So just if you're with us from McAllister, much of Pittsburg and Latimer County, we want you to stay with us very closely as this is the next immediate threat. But right now, checking back in with our rotation here northeast of Tahlequah by about 10 miles now. This is just beyond Highway 10, so just around and beyond the Illinois River now is where we're kind of finding that rotation. It's not quite as strong as it was just a moment ago, but they've reissued or just kind of replotted that warning continuing northeastward. And once again, this will put it near Eldon and other places up to the north of Adair County. So Camp Egan, some of the locations here likely going to be in the path of this. Let's put on a track for this right now because this will take it not far from Eldon up to the north and east. Once again, this is an area that is prone. We've had several tornado warnings here in the past several hours or so, or several seasons where we've been covering this area right now. No communities in this particular path north of Eldon, but basically along and north of Highway 62 in particular is the area I'm most concerned where this will be tracking. But as we check back in with the correlation coefficient, not a real distinct drop in this, which if we saw a distinct color change in that pocket where rotation is found, then we'd be certainly a little bit more concerned. But that is the zone right there just north of Eldon, and this is Eldon, and this is going to continue into Adair County in short order. These storms are moving about 40-45 miles per hour, so they are racing to the east. It'll be over you before you know it if you're in Adair County. It also does clip far southern Delaware County. If this cell takes a bit more of a northern jog, then up to Highway 412 just to the east of Little Kansas will be in the track of that. Hail potential, it's also a concern with this storm. We just had some hail around Tahlequah. We're getting reports that the north side of town may be at least somewhat without power with some of the winds that came through. This hail threat will continue to extend eastward along Highway 51 and 62 with time. Now, back around Tulsa, all is quiet right now, but you're probably hearing thunder in the distance. There is so much lightning associated with the cells. That's another hazard ongoing with these storms, as they're just producing prolific amounts of lightning, and this will be the case with with additional storms. So a loud early evening time frame is with us, but right now at least the immediate Tulsa area being spared of any severe weather threat, but the south side of Tulsa County just starting to get in on that severe storm coming up out of Okmulgee County with a hail and wind threat. Nothing that's showing up, at least right now, as a tornado threat with the storm ongoing to the south of Tulsa. But we'll just widen the view just a touch so you can see where that is in relation to Tulsa, and that continues to be not far from Beggs. We're watching that closely. Our own storm tracker, Jesse Post, is located in that zone, so he'll give us any reports if he is concerned. But right now, that cell is moving to the northeast at about 40-45 miles per hour, the heaviest of it passing beyond Beggs on Highway 16, east-northeastward, so Haskell, maybe up to Coweta, next in line to get this severe weather. We'll have more on our tornado-warned storm with Chief Meteorologist James Adair.
Yeah, it looks like we may have another tornado down with it right now, northeast of Tahlequah. As we zoom in, I want to zero in on where that rotation is. First, we'll look at velocity. And again, we're looking right in here, very bright pixels of red and orange and very bright pixels of green right next to each other. We check correlation coefficient, and there's the dropout right here. Tahlequah is just below the banner. Let me scoot the map up. So we're looking just northwest of Eldon. The good news here, west of Highway 10, we can give you the all clear, and south of Highway 62, we can give you the all clear from this circulation. But this is evidence that we have a tornado down with this storm right now. Tornado is occurring. The rotation is slightly weaker than it was just a couple of minutes ago. This is passing to the north of Eldon. We look into reflectivity. You can kind of see the way the red part of this is oriented back from southeast to northwest. That is the area of rotation that has produced another tornado touchdown with it. So we're looking just to the north of Eldon, and that's where we've got a likely tornado happening right now. That's going to race out of Cherokee County and into northern parts of Adair County. I'll do another track on that in just a bit. Let me widen out this view. And from that spot just to the northeast of Tahlequah right now, we can give you the track to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And that's going to be moving right up toward Proctor. It's very close to the Nickel Family Preserve right now. That's just basically to the west of the Adair Cherokee County line. We're looking at toward Chance and Ballard and Mosley. Current track of this is keeping it north of U.S. Highway 62, but it's going to be really close, especially very close to the Cherokee Adair County line. Still, well, we are just fine here. National Weather Service has gone with confirmed tornado, as they have, of course, looking at that same data we are to see that tornado debris being lofted up into the radar signal. We come all the way in again. Look at those bright reds here, brighter greens here. Our rotation would be located right here. So northeast of Tahlequah now. This will be close to Highway 62 between Proctor and Eldon. You can see how it kind of makes that jog back to the north as it comes over that county line, going back to correlation coefficient. We still have that dropout. That's what this green is. This is debris being lofted up from whatever the tornado is hitting and getting up into the radar signal, and that's reflecting back to us. The debris, most likely trees, is what we're hoping for. East now of Highway 10 and east of the Illinois River, but that is the spot. So we've got a tornado down with this now. And again, tornado safety precautions, critically important. And as we look at some of those, if you're in a home or an apartment, safe room, basement, lowest level, center part, smallest room, cars, mobile homes, outdoors, you've got to find sturdy shelter. Schools or offices, follow the tornado plan. We're after 5 o'clock, kids home before mom and dad get home. Try to get in the middle of your home. If you're in a mobile home, you got to get to some sturdy shelter there. But that is the safety rundown on those. We'll check again velocity. This has gotten a little bit broader. Remember, just a few minutes ago, we had really bright greens and bright reds right next to each other, and that was a stronger rotation. We still have evidence that we've got lofted debris up in this. This is to the northeast of Tahlequah right now. So we're really focused on this storm. This is the only tornado warned storm in our coverage area. It has moved east of Tahlequah right now. We can, again, give the all clear to everybody west of Highway 10, including Tahlequah, as this will move very quickly into parts of Adair County just in the next few minutes. The rotation continues basically right on or just to the northwest of Highway 62 and straight to the north of Eldon. So this is well east of Tahlequah and continuing to move to the northeast. Again, one more track of this rotation up to the minute track, taking it to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour, and that's going to be close to Chance, Ballard. If this holds together 30 more minutes, we're looking at the Watts community, and that's right on Highway 59 at the state line. So that is what we're looking at very closely. Severe thunderstorm warning around this circulation as well. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Grogan, also watching this. And Mike, again, short term at least, the rotation does look a little bit weaker.
That is good news, but unfortunately we have a number of other storms that we're keeping a close eye on. We do have the severe storm up near Coffeyville right now. That's lifting north with a hail threat primarily. Another severe storm just south of Tulsa. That will affect parts of the far southeastern parts of the metro area, Coweta, Haskell, northeast of Beggs now. And then another storm that's coming closer to McAllister at this time, at least into Pittsburg County. It is not warned in our immediate viewing area, but the storm downstream, down towards Cole County is producing a possible tornado. There is a warning for that just beyond our viewing area, but I have put a track on this, and that will let me go back to that. It will take it to locations basically getting closer to our viewing area as early as 5:55 if you're in Kiowa, the Pittsburg area close to 6, Savannah by 6:10, and Chambers by 6:16. That, if it maintains its general track, that is where we'll be most concerned about the next tornado threat emerging, assuming the other storms in our viewing area do not have that immediate threat. Now back to the storm at hand that did just produce a tornado in far eastern Cherokee County. Now that circulation is, well, pretty close to where the banner is, just north of Highway 62, not far from the Nickel Family Preserve, and lifting pretty quickly. Eventually Watts is going to be probably the next community downstream that might encounter the rotation. And once again, that warning has been cut to just include Adair County. If you're in Delaware County, that warning has been canceled for you for the time being, as this is likely on a slightly more southerly track, not likely getting north of Highway 412, at least in the state of Oklahoma. So that is kind of what we have on the look at velocity. As we flip over to reflectivity here, this shows the heavy rain and the hail that is likely falling near the Nickel Family Preserve. The worst of it well beyond Tahlequah at this point, but seeing an uptick in the heavy rainfall and just a profound amount of lightning as well in Cherokee and Adair County at this time. In fact, this will continue to race eastward, and I just want to show that the hail potential has maybe dropped a tiny bit on it. Still a powerful storm, severe weather even without a tornado. Winds might be upwards of 60 to 70 miles per hour with that hail reaching quarter size as it moves further into Adair County. And just the wide view, it shows the lightning. You can't even see the storms here, but I just want to point out that this is a very electric storm, along with the other ones extending all the way up to Veneta. Even the ones that aren't officially severe thunderstorm warned are still heavy lightning producers, and we're even getting lightning into the south sides of Tulsa County as well. So that continues to be a threat if you have outdoor plans. If you're hearing the thunder, move indoors to stay safe. We're also keeping an eye on cells that are starting to form near Pawnee and Osage County. These are not terribly strong. They are not quite as sustained as earlier, or at least showing signs of rapid intensification. If that does happen, we'll let you know, because this could be the third round that approaches some areas that have yet to see severe weather this afternoon, now into the evening hours. The final severe storm we're watching is on the southeast side of the Tulsa metro area, Coweta to Haskell. Next up to get perhaps up to quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This appears to be staying south of Tulsa itself. The rain extends up to about Bixby and the south end of Broken Arrow. Just so you know, looking outside, Tulsa area looking fine at the moment, but as we look at our tornado watch, this goes till 7 o'clock for all of eastern Oklahoma, 9 o'clock for our southeastern Kansas counties. And we do have that tornado watch clear into central Oklahoma. As I mentioned, storms are trying to form there, and if they do form and take hold, they could also pose a severe other threat, including the threat for a tornado or two. Our timeline shows that storms will quickly evolve eastward, likely into Arkansas by the 6 o'clock hour for the threat that we're ongoing right now. And then we're going to watch for these storms. As they fire up, our attention turns to that direction and what comes into southeastern Oklahoma. These likely become the most dominant cells into our evening hours, and we'll continue to see that threat expand eastward with time. A new severe thunderstorm warning coming into us right now. That warning will basically take us to places. Check it out right here. Okay, that's an extension of the warning from the tornado warned storms into Pittsburg County. Not a tornado warning yet, but severe thunderstorms approaching McAllister and points south and westward here in the next 30 to 45 minutes. We'll talk more about that in a moment, but another check of our tornado warned storm in Cherokee and Adair County. Back to you, James.
Yeah, continuing to see that tornado warning, metro area. We are in the clear right now as we look at other severe thunderstorms. The storm that dropped all of that hail in Tulsa earlier continues to barrel to the north, passing out of Montgomery into Labette County in Kansas. It has produced 69-mile-per-hour winds in South Coffeyville and at the Coffeyville Airport, and continuing to lift toward the north, crossing the state line. One tornado warning, as Mike said, just to the southeast of Tulsa, and we're looking in northern Adair County, very close to Proctor. Right now, we'll zoom into that. I want to show you velocity because, again, we've seen these things kind of ebb and flow a little bit. We've seen an increase and then a decrease in rotation. I'm kind of alternating between two radars right here. Looking at Fort Smith, we've got some purple in there, and that's an indication that we might have some suspect data. We'll come back over to Tulsa, and you can see the circulation continues defined, well, pretty well defined on Highway 62. In fact, it may have started to produce a new circulation right in here. So we're going to watch that closely right along Highway 62 in parts of Adair County. Again, still well off the bottom of your screen. West Siloam Springs, Watts area in here too. Let me zoom into this and we'll take just a closer look. We'll take a look at correlation coefficient in just a bit. Here's the Proctor area. So this is very close to Proctor. We look at correlation coefficient. I don't see any dropouts here that are close to that velocity indication that we've got rotation. But the orientation of the storm, when we look straight up at reflectivity, again, laid back northwest to southeast. These are spots that are more conducive to generate these spin-up type tornadoes. We go to velocity, and I'll pinpoint where I think that highest level of rotation is. So it's very close to Proctor, maybe just to the east of Proctor right now, and right along Highway 62 that basically follows the Illinois River back over toward Christie. So this is going to be moving to the northeast. It's going to be very close to Christie and Strawberry Spring, likely staying just to the north of Westville and Addie Lee as it continues moving to the northeast. Again, one more check of correlation coefficient. Not seeing any evidence that we've got any debris lofted here, but as we've talked about now, east of the Adair Cherokee County line, northern Adair County still in the threat zone. We can give you the all clear in Cherokee County now to the west of the Adair Cherokee County line. You can actually kind of see the bend in this radar indication, and that gives us an idea. We've got a very powerful updraft with the storm. Add in velocities, got some reds here. They're not very bright. The green's actually a little bit brighter here just to the northwest of the Proctor community right now. And that's going to be where the most likely spot is if we had a tornado being produced. We've also had a lot of very strong wind in that as well. But for now, thankfully, we're not seeing any evidence that we have debris being lofted up into the radar signal. But that's still a fairly strong rotation now that's taking place in parts of extreme western Adair County. So we're looking just to the northeast of Proctor, kind of right in here. We've zoomed way in, so we got some purples in here and those greens. So we're going to keep that going. We do have, we talked about that just a few minutes ago of the winds in South Coffeyville. There's a report that we've got some trees down there, not associated with tornadoes, but definitely associated with that significant thunderstorm that brought all the hail and some wind into the metro area. So let's do an updated track on this. We'll go back to Mike and get an update on the rest of the storms in eastern Oklahoma. The rotation right here, moving to the northeast. Again, it looks a lot more disorganized than it was when it was lofting debris up and we had a confirmed tornado. Very close to Strawberry Springs. Strawberry Spring, and then Chance and Ballard and Watts through 540, and then maybe West Siloam Springs if it can get that far up into the northeastern corner of Adair County and southeastern Delaware County, and then across the state line into Siloam Springs just after 548. But officially the tornado warning continues until 545. And the rotation, again, a little weaker. Let's zero in on it, look at the very latest radar data, and then Mike will take us right back into the metro area, give you an update on the southeast side of the metro, what's happening with those strong to severe storms there. This rotation is a tiny little bit stronger, which is why the tornado warning continues. Want to look at correlation coefficient. Don't see any significant indication or consistent indication that we've got any dropouts with that, but it's still a dangerous storm. Dangerous circulation, and it will move right across northern Adair County. In fact, there is a new tornado warning just issued. Let's take a look at that, because that's going to get into Pittsburg County with that circulation still in parts of Hughes County or Cole County. Yeah, right in here, and maybe northern Atoka County too. Let's look at velocity. Yeah, that's look how bright these colors are compared to what we were looking at in Adair County. So that is a strong evidence that we've got rotation taking place right in here. Now, notice this is also buried deeply in some of the heaviest rain. So we'll put the rotation right here, just to the north of Colgate in Cole County. Let me expand the view. We'll do a track on this. And as we check that Pittsburg County warning, this storm also has some hail in it too as it moves up into Pittsburg County, but want to do again, the track off the rotation here just to the northeast of Colgate. Not technically our county until it moves out of Cole County and into Pittsburg County, but this is moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. That's going to be very close to Kiowa and eventually Savannah. So a lot of people on Highway 69 between the Indian Nation Turnpike and Atoka. If you know anybody making that drive either up from Dallas or south from Tulsa toward Dallas, give them a quick call and let them know they need to wait this one out, probably in Henrietta, before it passes. Let this thing pass right in front of them as we continue to watch that circulation. Again, no confirmed tornado with it, but that's some strong rotation moving up into Pittsburg County. So that's our second tornado warning in our viewing area, the second tornadic storm. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Grogan.
If you're just joining us, perhaps from Adair County or from Pittsburg County, this is what you need to be thinking about. Going to that lowest, most interior room right now, if you find yourself in that warning, that is the type of shelter you need. A house or a building that you're in, make sure that's where you find yourself. Wearing shoes. If you've got a helmet, might seem silly, but wear it. It protects you from flying debris. A blanket or pillow can help with that as well. In your shelter, if you've got a place where you can plug in a device, keep them charging, because you can stream us on your phone, you can stream us on your tablet, and we'll let you know when you're in the all clear. But right now, no part of Green Country, or at least part of Pittsburg County, is in the clear quite yet, and most of Adair County is still watching out for this. We do have an extension now. Actually, this is a new tornado warning coming out of far eastern Delaware County. This would be just to the northeast of Concord right now. As we flip over to velocity, what we'll find, yep, there it is right there. Very close to the Arkansas state line right there. So this will just be in the Fox23 viewing area for a few moments. This storm is likely moving at about 45 miles per hour, and it will be set to cross into Arkansas here in the next 10 minutes or so. I'll put a track on here though, just so we have note of this. It will continue its way through Ionia by 537, the Sulphur Springs area by 556, and moving at 55 miles per hour. So that means it's moving even quicker out of our hair. So that is the latest track on that. So this will be a fast mover as it moves into Delaware County. I'm going to clear that track right there. Our velocity signature with the wind going toward the radar site here and away, that's our circulation, and it's just a few miles from the state line at this point in far eastern and southeastern sides of Delaware County. This would be south of the road that leads between Jay and Gravette, and north of 412 and even north of 116 to the northeast of Concord. So if you're watching this from Concord, this is not an immediate concern for you. You're just getting a thunderstorm. All right. If you find yourself in one of these locations, this is what you should be doing, and we'll let you know when you're in the clear. In the Tulsa area right now, we have storms on the south sides of the metro area that are severe. One of several storms that are warned at this time. We did get 69-mile-per-hour wind gusts reported out of South Coffeyville. We even had earlier with these storms a 67-mile-per-hour wind gust in Skiatook. And checking on power outages right now, we have about 8,000 customers now in the Tulsa area without power, about 1,000 without power in Bartlesville, and a couple thousand without that in Muskogee. So that is another impact we're seeing from these storms. But the cell that's moving just clipping past Tulsa County on the far southeast side continues to move northeast quickly towards Coweta. Our hail threat is the main thing that we're noting with this particular storm. As we take the track here, you'll notice it will continue through Coweta by 5:31, Afton Landing at 5:40, in the Neodesha area by 5:46, bypassing at least the immediate part of Tulsa here in the next few minutes. But here's our next warning coming on in. This is the one that had the more pronounced circulation as of late, getting ready to cross the county line into Pittsburg County. A little closer view right now, this would be south of Ashland there, and then the circulation still quite noted here on radar. About 5 or 6 miles from the southwestern corner of Pittsburg County. Not quite to the Fox23 viewing area yet, but that storm likely moving at a pretty rapid clip, probably between 40 and 55 miles per hour. It is going to eventually be approaching Highway 69, and eventually we'll be taking it up possibly beyond Savannah towards McAllister. McAllister, you're not in the warning yet for a tornado. You are in a severe thunderstorm warning, however, as this storm will be pretty quick to move into a more populated area. This will also be found not far from the Indian Nation's Turnpike eventually, but that is still a little ways down the road. So that is where we're looking at there. Back up to the circulation in Adair County. It's distinct. It's moderately strong. At this time, it is north of Highway 62 by just a few miles, passing just north of Christie and still angling towards Highway 59 between Watts and Westville. Do think it's going to pass just north of Westville. We're going to check the correlation coefficient here to see if we have any drop. No significant drop here, indicating that we likely don't have much debris. There still are likely powerful winds with or without a tornado at this time. But as we look at the hail potential, that has dropped a little bit with that storm. So maybe a slight decrease in intensity overall. But overall, this will continue to race eastward. We do have that tornado warning for another few minutes with the storm, with just an incredible amount of lightning there from Delaware County down into Cherokee County. Also hearing the thunder on the south side of Tulsa from that severe storm. We're keeping an eye on storms also trying to form off to the west of Tulsa. Right now, that activity is not sustaining itself quite well, but still a few showers out that way. We'll keep a close eye. There is a stronger cell approaching Stillwater at this time. As we take a look at our tornado watch, this does take us through 7 o'clock. Likely to go even beyond that for the evening hours. We'll continue to monitor this threat. Once again, a number of power outages, 3 tornado warnings, 1 crossing into Arkansas as we speak from Delaware County into far northwestern Arkansas, Adair County and Pittsburg County. So 3 separate warnings we're tracking at this time. Chief Meteorologist James Adelot has an update on those warnings.
Yeah, again, as we look in Tulsa, we are dry in Tulsa. Severe thunderstorm, though, continues far southeastern Broken Arrow and into the Coweta area, too. Hail is the primary concern here. And again, this is going to continue southeast of the city. We're in a little bit of a lull in Tulsa. You can watch this moving to the northeast. This is going to move across Wagoner into Rogers County and then Mays County while Tulsa stays quiet from this. Let's look east of us and we'll go to velocity. We've got 2 ongoing tornado warnings. The first one now is in Benton County in Arkansas. It is cleared out of Delaware County, so we can give the Oklahoma side of the state line for this Delaware County circulation the all clear and concentrate now in northern Adair County, where we still continue to see this rotation north of Highway 62. Let me come in just a little bit further here and we can get your Strawberry Spring. So this is right in the Strawberry Spring and Chance and Proctor area. You can see we have no sign that we've got debris being lofted up into the radar, but the storm continues strong. It continues also to have that rotation in it, which makes me think that it still has a tornado threat. Now, this is going to continue moving northeast, very close to Chance and along and just north of Highway 62. So for Strawberry Spring, Chance, tornado precautions, lowest level, center part, smallest room. If you're in your home, that's what to do. Now, if you're in a car, mobile home, or outdoors, find sturdy shelter. Schools, offices, most of those, we're getting late enough not having to worry about that, but that safety plan, always the best idea there. We go back to radar, and again, we check velocity. We still have some circulation here just in the Strawberry Spring area. The brighter greens here, the brighter reds here. Let me angle that down just a little bit, and we'll see if we can get a little different look at it from the Fort Smith